So on the Rome teachers, I want to take calls on this, 315-736-0186. I was in 6th grade, and I really like this teacher. But I got caught finishing my homework in class. Ooh. Keeping down low, had no idea that my teacher had walked behind me and was watching me. She grabbed me by the back of the hair. I had a lot of hair. I mean, it came down easily to my shoulders. It was that time.
You said 6th grade this was?
6th grade, bell bottoms.
That's what she was really angry about.
I had a little tiger pendant that my mother got me from Avon. It was like tusk looking. I had a lot of hair on my head, none on my chest. She grabbed my hair, and I swear to God, lifted me out of the chair and lifted me right up, down to the office. You don't do your homework in class. My mother found out, livid, came to school because I had to go to the nurse's office. I had a headache for the rest of the day. It caused whatever pulling your hair like that caused a headache. Now, maybe I've just had a headache. I don't know what it was. But it literally lifted me out. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Today, that would be considered assault.
It probably would.
My mother was livid over it.
With
I
you,
don't
though,
do that.
right?
No, not in
with the teacher?
My parents were very tough. If I got in trouble in school, I got in trouble at home. But there was you didn't put your hands on my kid.
Gotcha.
You put your hands on my kid, we have a problem. That was my father's job. Because I got the belt as a kid.
I'd love to hear from your mother how that story went down. If the punishment was she sprayed you with a water bottle. I wonder how your mother would feel.
This is the same mother that broke a broomstick over my head.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to touch my kid, it's me. It's not you.
Mm-hmm. I got to say, I've met your mother.
Don't
I can't
touch.
see that she'd get to a point of anger where she would.
Let's put it in a different perspective. You've met me. Can you see at age 15 me putting my mother to the position where she'd want to break a broomstick over my head?
Yep.
There
okay.
you go. I think I've laid it all out there. I can't unless Chuck is talking about is on topic here. I can't take Chuck right now. Does he know that? Have you spoken with him? Tim in Waterville, handle that if you could. But I will talk to him next hour. Tim in Waterville on the Rome teacher situation. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Well, when I was in school in the 70s, we had a couple of teachers. Like you said, if you were doing your homework in class, one teacher would take a ruler to your hand and you would get slapped.
Yeah.
You doze off in the class. We had a teacher who would give you a knuckle on the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
You were late for a shop class, you would get the paddle.
Yeah, I'm with you. That stuff is stuff that went on. Do you think?
You know what?
Yeah.
After that, we respect the teachers, and we never did it again.
Can I ask you something? Did that happen? You talk about a paddle or a knuckle to the back of the head. Now, if Keeler fell asleep, I could see that. In my mind, I'm not saying it's okay, but I could see that. But if, like, a girl fell asleep in class, would she get a knuckle from a male teacher? Would a girl late for class get paddled by a male teacher?
What she got was he was slapped at desk so hard it was scared the living life out of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I once had a teacher that kids were talking, and he took a railroad tie, one of those big spikes.
Yeah.
And he had it sitting on his desk, and I was in 7th grade for this. I liked this teacher. He whipped it on the floor, and it made this loud clanking noise. You can only imagine on like a concrete type floor.
Yeah.
Clanking noise. Bounced up, hit a kid in the head. Honest to God. He wasn't back the next year. I liked him as a teacher, but I mean, he never intended. And who would have thought the thing would bounce up? His whole thing was, I'm trying to make noise to scare everybody. That railroad tie bounced up and hit a kid in the head.
Oh, boy.
And how about the teachers take their fingernails on the chalkboard to get your attention?
Well, that should be that's arrestable offense right there. So, all right. Good stuff, Tim.
Hey,
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too, thanks. John in Bridgewater.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a teacher back in 71. The worst thing about it is that she lived next door, and she was good friends with my mother.
Oh.
And let me tell you, when I screwed up, I'd either get my ears pulled, hair pulled, palm up in the air, or a 3-yard rule stick, and then whack you. And then the worst thing, I go home and tell my mother I I'd get the
You'd get
second
it
ass
again.
whooping.
Yeah, you'd get it again.
So, I don't feel sorry for these little punks in Rome. I don't know if they're mean or, but they could be jokers.
Whoa.
There's two up.
We have
two sides
you have
to the story.
no idea.
There are always two sides to every story.
Well, there's two, and
or if you're Mayor Palmieri, 16.
Well, all right.
But that's true.
You never know. These kids could be, you tell them 100 times and 100 times, and finally, you just whatever.
So you think that the punishments of yesteryear are okay? Should be brought back. You feel that way?
I don't think that they should have. What do they get suspended? The teachers?
Well, the teachers were arrested.
No, that's way too much for a little squirt bottle to the face.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it, John.
That's
Thanks.
my opinion, though.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Mitch in Clinton. Go ahead, Mitch. And Irene, I'm getting to you next. I'm sorry.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a quick one, but it's about what you were talking about. When I was in 6th grade down in Frankfurt, because we lived in Frankfurt at the time, there was a girl I liked, and we used to have to line up outside the homerooms to go to lunch. And when we lined up, I was not near her, so I jumped out of line and went back to get by her. The teacher grabbed me by the collar, dragged me out, and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, and I didn't want to admit what I was doing, so I said, well, I wanted to change places. He goes, you don't change places in the line. When you get in the line, you stay where you are. Don't you ever do that again.
Did he hit you or spray you with a bottle?
No, he grabbed me by the collar and pulled me out of the line and then pulled me down to where I was and said, now you stay right there.
Do you think that was excessive?
I'm not saying it's excessive. It's just in those days, I had another teacher that on the first day of class, you walked in, and he was a big guy, Mr. Robinson, and he said, now listen, when I tell you to do something, you do it or else you're going to see the Board of Education. Then he closed the door, and there was this big paddle there that said on it, Board of Education.
I want to ask you this. On the case in Rome, would it, because I believe it's WKTV that is reporting that these were special needs students. Would it change would it change your mind if these students were special needs students?
Yeah, it would. I think, because I know some teachers, and I'm sure you do too, that have to teach and deal with those kids, and sometimes they just do things because they can't help control it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And
all right, Mitch.
You got to be real careful.
Yep. I appreciate it. How about for you? Thank you, man. I'm going to do Irene. She's been waiting. Irene, first off, would it change your mind if the students were special needs students?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
All
right.
I got a couple, but this is the first one. My kids are adults now, and they went to elementary school here in Utica, private school. Now, their punishment for years was the desk outside the door, and they sit there, and they just play all day, and they don't do anything. Not all day, but...
Yeah.
But then it came to an idea that us parents agreed with the principal. When they did something wrong, they were brought down to the principal's office, and they were made to do push-ups, and the kids did not like that.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's a good punishment because they also do that in gym. So that's not anything, that's way out there.
Yeah.
And so it was successful. Now, the other thing we implemented, too, because of the discipline with the kids, when that Ninja Turtles were out, they would be on the ground, out playground, doing all these kicks and everything. So we decided to also bring into our school as a part of the curriculum is Taekwondo. And let me tell you, without raising a voice or anything, those kids, when they walked in there,
it worked.
They walked in the auditorium.
Yeah.
And they saw that instructor. He didn't have to say a word.
Wow.
They knew, in fact, they were better for him than the teachers because there's certain tenets that they have to follow.
I do believe that it's all about being consistent, right? If you're consistent, and however, if it's a special needs child, you don't know. It could be something that is uncontrollable for all.
But the other problem the schools have is because the parents nowadays are leaving all the disciplining up to the teachers.
Yeah.
It takes half of their day up. Yeah. That's not the responsibility of the teacher.
Yeah, sometimes you got to get your lazy butt off the couch and correct your children when they're 2, which will certainly make life better when they're 6.
Now, do you remember? I went to Catholic school, and I'm 71 years old. So I remember seeing the nuns look like they just had boxing sessions.
Yeah.
But back then, the parents allowed it to happen.
I know.
Because they wanted their kids to behave in school and at home.
Yep.
So,
all right, Irene, good stuff. We appreciate
thank you.
your
And
update
you have a
there.
good day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
And it shows with that Taekwondo instructor how those kids just respected that person. So pretty big. Roger, I'll take one more here. You're on.
Yes, thanks for letting me talk about this. I'm a retired school teacher. I have certainly experienced corporal punishment in the past.
Yep.
And there is no reason for it. There was no reason for it then. And there still is no reason for it now.
Yeah.
And I don't think it matters whether you're talking about a regular student in a regular classroom or a special needs student. They all need to be respected for who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
There are discipline procedures, but spraying a bottle at somebody like they're a dog or a cat is just not appropriate.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Roger, I look at this. I was spanked as a kid. I'm sure you were. It's just the way things work.
Absolutely.
But I never spanked my kids. I have 3 kids. I never, and I truly, and I hope, I believe my kids are extremely respectful, and certainly respectful to adults. I hope they are. I believe they are. But I will tell you this: they're respectful to us. And when we say something, they listen. And I never had to spank them, but we were very consistent. And I know the timeout. This whole timeout world, you got to go back to the way it was when things were better, and you'd whack a kid and you'd spank a kid. I don't think you need to do that. I think you just need to be really consistent when it comes to discipline. Do you, as a teacher, agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. There are techniques that can be used that are appropriate for a home situation.
Yeah.
That do not require any kind of spanking or corporal punishment, if you want to call it that. And at the same time, I think I was respected as a teacher for the years that I did it.
Yeah.
And I certainly never, ever had to resort to something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. I appreciate your professional opinion, Roger. Thanks so much.
I appreciate your radio station.
Well, thank you. We are appreciative of each other on this summer solstice. Pretty awesome.
I'll talk to you again.
Thanks so much, Roger. I will break. We'll come back here at WIBX.